Hello and welcome to the Trending Now podcast for this Friday, November the 22nd, 2024. I'm Louie Butko, and thanks for joining us as we recap the week that was on Trending Now, which you catch every Monday to Friday, 7 p.m., 11:30 on CHCH, CHCH.com, and streaming live on our Trending Now YouTube page. Lots to get to on today's show, so let's get right into it. I'm very pleased to be joined by the host and producer of Trending Now,
Hi.
Manesa Dhanabalan, and I'm not going to pump your tires. I've done that the last few weeks. You're still doing a fantastic job.
Oh, thank you.
You really are. I don't know, like, if you're feeling, like, not that I'm saying you weren't comfortable at the beginning, but you're really hitting this groove right now that it's really nice to see.
Starting to get into a groove of things.
I know, but like it is a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
And I've been saying that since this show started, since this podcast started, when I brought on Laura and Nicole and Kelly and all these people to point out that it's a lot of work. And I will mention that, like, you this week, again, just absolutely crushed it. So
Thank you.
I know I don't say nice things to you off camera, but on camera, I'm going to say nice things to you.
I don't know. You've been pretty nice to me lately.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
except for your smell. But we'll have to fix that. Let's get right into it with Trump's cabinet picks. Matt Gaetz. This one's... Last week, he was, named as the nominee. Right away, instant backlash.
Yeah.
He resigns from Congress. And then yesterday says, never mind. I don't want to be a distraction, so I'm not going to do it. Predictable. What have you heard? People you've talked to? What do you make of this?
I mean, so I interviewed somebody, and that interview will come up later on the show. But he was saying how... Henry Giroux was saying how, like, he kind of had no other, like, choice in a sense is what I think. I'm, like, trying to think back to the interview, but I apologize for saying it wrong. But, yeah, like, it was just one of those things where he was getting a lot of backlash, like, all around, right? So it's one of those things where he wasn't maybe going to get the support that he expected to get.
So these cabinet picks need to be Senate approved. The Republicans hold control of both the Senate, House, and presidency. So the one thing I realized is that even Donald Trump, with this giant mandate, he still can't do whatever he wants. There are still going to be some checks and balances.
Yes.
We're going to talk about some of the people who probably in any other cabinet wouldn't get through, like a Linda McMahon or a RFK Jr. But Matt Gaetz, there were some credible allegations that A, he had paid for sex, B, that he had sex with an underage woman, a 17-year-old woman who he paid, that illicit drug use, all these things. The thing about this is that, like, he was named the nominee, and then he quits Congress.
Yeah.
The Congress, which, like, days before...
And that's the reason why,
Days before, he had just spent a whole election campaign running for.
Yep. And then literally, like, House Speaker Mike Johnson was saying how he's like, oh, like, it's opening a Pandora's box if we like, release the report.
Yeah.
And it's like he was a congressman before that, though.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, it's not like somebody who's, like, retired. Like, this is just my opinion again, right?
No, just reading this now, Matt Gaetz, he's not going to go back to Congress.
Yes.
There was some sort of speculation on, well, if he resigned from this Congress, then could he just take his seat when Congress is sworn in, which is just like a waste of time, a waste of money. Like, you just spent a whole election, which he easily won. It's Florida. He's Matt Gaetz. His dad is a very powerful person in Florida politics. But it's just like a waste of time that, like, this is American politics. This is what they do. Like, it's like you ran for this campaign and now he quits.
And I feel like now that, like Gaetz is out of the picture now, like, I feel like the spotlight is more on Pete Hegseth.
Yeah?
Because
who again?
He's also, there are allegations.
Allegations, and he has admitted that it's been, I don't know if it's been, like,
it's
proven.
been dropped.
But yeah, he's paid a settlement.
Right? Yeah.
He's paid a settlement.
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
Any charges have been dropped. Trump said in his first time around, President-elect Donald Trump, which still just hurts me to say, that he only hires the best people. Right? But that's what he said. That's what he said the first time around. I only hire the best people. All those people that he hired that first go around, Mike Pence, his chief of staff, Mike Mulvaney, all these people who he hired didn't endorse him this time around, sat on the sidelines, were actively talking against him. It's interesting to see what he's going to try to do. And if these 2 weeks of cabinet appointments is any indication, then we're in for a long 4 years.
Yeah, I know. That's literally what the person that I spoke to, Henry Giroux, he was also like, yeah, this is going to be quite a long 4 years as well. And it's it's a little stressful because there's also, so Pete Hegseth, have you heard about the tattoo situation?
Yes, that he may or may not have a white supremacist style tattoo.
So that is quite alarming. So, with Trump, should I be surprised? No, but it's just one of those things as well. It's where are we headed? What is going to happen this next 4 years? And I also feel actually, you know what? I'm not even going to get into that. I'm not even going to get into that.
You're going to be canceled. You're going to be canceled. You got to be careful.
I'm not going to say anything.
Well, that's one thing too. And the thing about Gaetz, and he wasn't going to get the support of senators. That was the report yesterday. Is that Trump told him, "You're not going to get the votes. Withdraw your name so you don't look stupid." The thing about the Senate and the House I've learned this week is that senators really look down on the House, right? There's 50 senators, or whatever it is, 100 senators, 2 from each state. There's 500 something congressmen and women. And the Senate really thinks that they're that much better. So it was never going to happen for Matt Gaetz. But RFK, that might still happen. Linda McMahon. Tell us a little bit about Linda McMahon, the pick for the Secretary of Education.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm literally just now starting this pack, so I've been so focused on Pete Hegseth and Gaetz and Pam Bondi that I haven't gotten a chance.
Bondi,
So now she's been nominated for the Attorney General. But I also read something yesterday that a lot of people aren't even fazed by all his controversial picks because everyone expected this from him. And it's also one of those things where some people are afraid that it's going to Trump's just going to come in with the my way or the highway kind of. Yeah. That wasn't the article. That was from people that other interviews and stuff that I've done. I don't. Again, remember 2 weeks ago we talked about this when he got elected? We just both sat here and we were I don't know how to feel about this.
Yeah. Yep. It's interesting because I'm watching less American news. I don't know why. If it's just because I was a pretty religious, and I know we talked about this on the show, Joe and Mika going to Mar-a-Lago. I think Jason did that story, right?
Yes, he did.
On Tuesday. I'm a big Morning Joe guy. I watch Morning Joe on MSNBC. Joe Scarborough is a former Republican congressman from Florida, so I feel that gives him some credibility. Mika's dad was a ambassador for a very, very long time, so the show has some gravitas, I thought. And I was a little off-put by the fact that they went down to Mar-a-Lago, and that was also a very familiar feeling for a lot of other people who watch Morning Joe. Right. A lot of people speaking out against it on both sides. Really.
Yeah, there was a lot of shock there. A lot of backlash.
Yeah.
And it's
but what are you going to do? He's going to be president for the next 4 years, right? You have to be able to cover him.
That's true.
And Willie Geist the next day came in, and again, I say I've been watching less, but clearly I've been watching the same amount. Willie Geist, who's the third host on Morning Joe, said, and he put it the right way. He said, "You know how critical we've been of Trump. That's not going to change." Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It seemed like a little kiss the ring-ish when Joe and Mika went down there. So it was a little side tangent. I know we didn't say we were going to talk about this, but I remember we talked about it on the show here, so that's why I went into it. Anything else with Gaetz or with the cabinet? I know your Giroux interview is going to run on tonight's show, but what were your main takeaways from that?
Gaetz seems to be the big focus right now, and what he was going to do, how this kind of unfolded and stuff like that. So that was a big thing. Pete Hegseth is quite taking the spotlight, but JD Vance was actually making quite a few appearances on Capitol Hill this week. Mm-hmm. First with Matt Gaetz, because Matt Gaetz was going into that meeting to talk to, I believe it was senators or some Congress people. This was before he withdrew his name, and then after that, the next day he was with Pete Hegseth. The Republicans are really trying to show their support for them. Obviously, it didn't work out with Gaetz because he withdrew his name, but.
Yeah, and I think, I don't want to say it's encouraging because Matt Gaetz should never have been anywhere close to being the Attorney General of the United States, just based
I
on, his experience in practicing law, his character, the fact that there is an open ethics investigation into him, well, I guess closed now that he's not a member of Congress, like so unqualified for the job that like if he had been approved, then it was like, oh shit, we're in trouble. Like all hell could break loose in America. He would be Trump's guy. But a lot of people saying that about Pete Hegseth too. Like putting him in charge of the military, a lot of the people who in Trump's first term who were in charge of the military, like General Mark Milley, stopped him from Trump's big plans for parades, like marching tanks down the street, and said that's a little much. That's a little North Korea-ish. But Pete Hegseth, who was a Fox News host last week, is just going to say yes to whatever the president says.
Which brings us back to the whole, how qualified are these people for these positions? There is one takeaway from my interview, like one thing, the Henry Giroux was saying how Marco Rubio seems qualified for his position, but
Secretary of State, right?
Yes.
Marco Rubio,
yeah. But again, it's just like a lot of it just goes back to loyalty, and it's like the other fear is like what happens when somebody who's not qualified for a position takes that on.
Yeah.
Aside from the extreme views on
yeah. And then what I've read and what I've been hearing is that a lot of these jobs, the military, the number 2 person will be someone who's more qualified. So Pete Hegseth, if he's approved, could be the guy who goes on TV and is the face, but there's somebody actually there with experience making decisions. And who's Trump's chief of staff too? She also ran his campaign, Susie Wiles. She didn't get much pushback either. But chief of staff's a huge job too. So.
Oh, well, we forgot to mention Tulsi Gabbard as well.
Tulsi Gabbard.
She was getting quite.
Oh, jeez. Tulsi Gabbard, the Department of National Intelligence. She has parroted Russian talking points. She has parroted Chinese communist talking points.
And Elon Musk and Vivek
we haven't even talked about that.
The Doge?
Yeah, let's not call it that. The Department of Government Efficiency. I'm not calling it Doge. I will call it the department. Who also they put Marjorie Taylor Greene in charge of that too, by the way. So. Just deep breaths. We're going to get through this.
Okay, let's talk about something fun.
We're going to get through this. All right. I don't know if this is fun, but it's getting a lot of backlash. Jaguar.
Oh, I forgot.
We'll get to Kendrick Lamar or the Cristiano Ronaldo and Mr. Beast.
I want to talk about Ronaldo. Yeah, sure.
Okay, real quick. Jaguar, a brand new logo, got rid of the Jaguar. Again, talk about backlash. This is getting a lot of it.
Yes. It's funny because I was reading an article today and like they were actually commenting, like literally replying to a lot of like the comments. They were like, yeah,
Jaguar?
I read an article this morning and I don't know if maybe I was like half asleep, but I literally saw so many like retweets from like or replies from Jaguar being like, it's our future and it's this and that. So I think they were just trying to pivot to like start their like whole electric lineup more than anything. But it has not been received well. I think Elon Musk was also chiming in too.
Well, they're calling it like woke, the commercials and like the advertisement that they ran. They didn't really mention the car much at all. I mean, people just, who cares? Are you going to buy a Jaguar? Then who cares?
Yeah.
Like, have you ever owned a Jaguar? No. Like, just who cares?
But
people get angry about things that don't affect them in any way. Like, why are you so mad about a commercial for a car that A, you can't afford, and B, you were never going to buy in the first place? Like, why do you have to go online and be like, stupid woke company, oh my God, like blah, 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 like they're ruining history. Like, it's stupid. It's stupid. Everybody needs to calm down.
I think this is maybe what they also wanted. You never know, right?
Yeah.
Like if they wanted, because like this is something that I brought up like when I was talking to my fiance this morning and I was like talking about this. He's like, well, think about it. He's like, when was the last time somebody actually spoke about Jaguar? And I was like,
yeah, didn't they only sell like 3,000 cars in the States last year? Something
I think
like that.
So.
It was like 2,500.
So. But maybe they just wanted the attention. So, and maybe if they want to spark some debate and people to talk about it's been trending all week.
It has been trending
all
week.
So maybe it is working out in their favor.
I have never watched a Mr. Beast video, ever. I know that he gets hundreds of millions of views. I know he's a big character. He's got a chocolate bar. I've seen the chocolate bars in this grocery store. I've never sat down and watched a Mr. Beast interview video, whatever.
I haven't
but
either.
He did one with Cristiano Ronaldo. What's this all about?
Okay, so Cristiano Ronaldo launched his YouTube channel a couple months ago. And as soon as he did it, like within the first month or something, he got like millions of like subscribers. And he broke the record.
Oh, Ronaldo did.
Yes. And that record, like the person he beat was Mr. Beast.
Oh.
So he's been like he was teeing it up this week, being like, oh, like, or a couple days ago being like, oh, like my next guest is gonna like, you know, it's gonna like break the internet and this, that, the third. So a lot of people thought it might be messy.
Was it?
It wasn't messy.
Oh.
So it was Mr. Beast, right?
Yeah.
So, but then like I'm not a soccer fan like that, but I would love to see an interview with Messi and Ronaldo. I would love to see that. So.
I don't get the, you know, I've never been, like, I'm not a YouTube kid, right? I was like pre-YouTube, like, YouTube
you're
was
old?
born. Yeah, I'm old. Yeah, basically. But like, I just don't get like the idea of sitting down and watching a 50-minute YouTube video. That's why I try to keep my podcast like 20 minutes. That's my attention span, 20 minutes. But like these videos, and I know Mr. Beast just announced a new show. It's going to be on Amazon, which was shot in Toronto, actually.
Yes.
And one of our former employees here was on that set, Braden.
Was
Remember
it?
Braden?
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
shout out Braden Neville. He was working on that show.
Great job, Braden.
Yeah, so I think it's like a $5 million prize. I don't understand. There was controversy around that too. You got big plans for the weekend?
I have to, it's going to be a busy weekend for me. So I work tomorrow morning, and then I have to drive and that's in Markham, and then I have to drive all the way to London for a housewarming party for my sister-in-law. For my brother-in-law, sorry. My brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. London.
Markham to London on a Saturday.
London.
Are you driving back that night?
Probably, yeah. I like to go back to my bed and sleep in my bed. It's just, I can't, like.
Yeah. Well, have fun. It's a lot of driving. What are you doing Sunday? It's my friend's birthday on Saturday, so today will probably just be go to bed and sleep and early. And like I was just in Vancouver, so I've been complaining about the time change and adjusting that. Whoa, easy.
Sorry.
So yeah, today will be a sleep night because
nice.
I hope to be in bed by like 8:30, and then tomorrow will be like I hope to have my first adult beverage at like 1:30 p.m.
And you expect me not to make the old comments?
Which one? The old comments? I didn't think I was an old comment. I didn't set you up for that. Anyway, Manesa.
I'm kidding.
Thanks for doing this. Appreciate it as always.
Thank you.
All right. Manesa Dhanabalan, everybody. She is hosting tonight, 7 o'clock, or, you know, if you're watching this after the show, which is likely, she did a great job all week. So shout out to her. All right. I want to get to this story that was trending earlier this week. After backtracking about his heritage amid the allegations about his company's bid for federal contracts, Liberal MP Randy Boissonneau is leaving his cabinet post as employment minister. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his office made the announcement this week saying they agreed that the Edmonton MP should step away while he attempts to clear his name. Boissonneau was facing calls to resign following a National Post report saying the MP's grandmother was not Indigenous. Boissonneau had clarified that it was his adoptive mother and brother who were actually Métis when faced with questions about his family tree. His departure was announced minutes before MPs attended question period. He's been under intense scrutiny over reports from the National Post about his heritage. Boissonneau has since apologized for the shift in claims, but also faces allegations over a company he co-owns that claims to be Indigenous-owned and using that claim to apply for government contracts. Now, the report sparked calls for the minister to resign from both the Conservatives and the NDP, and the Tories continue to pile on, even since he stepped down from cabinet, with PC leader Pierre Poilievre referencing former cabinet minister and First Nations woman Jody Wilson-Raybould, who took shots at Trudeau for not removing him sooner. All right. It has been a busy, busy week overseas, and to discuss that, we bring in Trending Now writer and CHCH writer and sometimes reporter here on Trending Now, Roger Collins. Great to see you, buddy.
Hey, Louie, what's going
on? We got you the lighthearted stuff today.
Yeah, I know. I saw the rundown.
Let's start with Russia because a couple of things happened this week. Joe Biden saying that Ukraine can use U.S. missiles,
Yeah.
U.S.-made missiles, to fire into Russia, which is a change of policy, but a pretty big Russian strike this week. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so in response to that, they fired an ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile. It's something that could potentially carry a nuclear warhead. In this case, it didn't. But yeah, just to kind of respond to that move by America, that was Russia's response. And I think they struck something in like the Dnieper region or something of other.
This is clearly an escalation.
Oh, 100%. It's definitely an escalation. Like, there's very little that takes place that isn't escalating this conflict. But I mean, at this point, I kind of wonder what difference it will make. People talk about this being, the leading steps up to nuclear war. The experts I spoke to today don't see it that way at all. A lot of this is just political stancing and awaiting Trump to take office and the tit for tat kind of thing back and forth between the current administration, the next one, and Russia itself, right? So you have a lot of things that the current Biden administration has promised Ukraine that hasn't come to fruition. It seems like they're kind of just trying to speed those things up before they leave.
Yeah, well, this was a complete reversal. Those missiles that can be used now to fire into Russia. What are your experts saying when it comes to Trump and what could happen with Trump in office and what kind of change in policy?
I haven't had anyone come forward and outright make a prediction. No one has a crystal ball. No one knows what's going to happen. The thing that's being weighed most is, how does this war end? Because it seems like Trump is very adamant on making it come to a halt. Like, people are dying. This is a war, and a lot of money is being sent over there, and times are tough here, right? So it's understandable why they want that to happen. But the concession here is, does Ukraine lose the territory that Russia has taken? And that's the ultimate question. How does this war end? And I don't think anyone really has a good prediction.
Worth pointing out that this week also marked the 1,000th day.
Yeah, that's heavy.
Since the war had started, makes it, doing quick math there, just under 3 years since the war in Ukraine has started. And
in its official account, though, right? Like, this goes back to the Maidan revolution or coup or whatever you want to call it back in 2014. So this has been
Georgia, the annexation of Georgia.
Precisely. Yeah, this goes back a long time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a big week there for Russia. It was also a big week when it comes to the Israel-Hamas conflict. The ICC. Yeah. What did the ICC do?
So
what is the ICC, first of all?
Well,
and what do they do?
The International Criminal Court. It's just a global body that tries to enforce international law, and in this case, Benjamin Netanyahu is being accused of committing war crimes in the ongoing war with Hamas. So, yeah, they issued an arrest warrant for him today. A lot of people see it more of as a symbolic thing. Like, in reality, he could be arrested if he steps foot in the wrong country that will enforce those measures. But in all likelihood, it's really no danger to the Israeli PM.
Speaking of, Joe Biden put out a pretty strong statement when this was made, saying we support Israel. We don't see this as legitimate. Trudeau, a little different tone.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a founding member of the ICC, it makes sense that Trudeau is obviously going to prop it up. He's always, as far as the record goes, Trudeau has been very consistent with upholding international rulings and following suit with all of the other international leaders on that thing. But again, with America, that's part and parcel for its relationship with Israel and the ICC, for that matter. America in the past has refused to acknowledge the ICC as having jurisdiction over it and Israel. So this is not something that surprises me at all.
Yeah, we got you on for the light stuff. Speaking of, you went to a concert last night. What was that all about?
Sturgill Simpson.
Sturgill Simpson.
Yeah. He's I don't want to call him a country artist, but in some regards, I guess he is. But it's he's a really good, talented musician. It was at Massey Hall, and he did a bunch of covers. He did Purple Rain. He did some Roy Orbison stuff too, and it was just like a 3-hour jam, more or less. It was really probably the best concert I've been to in the last few years.
The T Swift concert was also going on last night. How did because we were talking about transit, and this is the last time I'm going to say it because I've said it on every show I've done this week. I was in Vancouver last week.
Yeah.
But the transit in Vancouver, SkyTrain, buses, pretty good.
Yeah,
ferries. You were having issues with the transit, and I find the same. Like, getting from St. Catharines to Hamilton is nearly impossible. There's not a lot of direct bus routes. There's a lot of direct bus routes to Toronto. Really eye-opening just to say, like, I don't want to drive my car into Toronto, especially on a Taylor Swift concert night.
No, God, no.
But you said you left at 11:30. You didn't get back till 2.
Yeah, the show got out at 11:30. There was obviously a bunch of bump and grind with all the Swifties on the TTC and stuff like that.
And a Raptors game, I think, that ended at the same time.
Yeah. I didn't really notice that many jerseys out in the field, but no, there was a lot of people. There was a lot of people commuting to and from, and yeah, just getting back to Hamilton sucked. I didn't get into my front door until about 2 a.m. I'm here today at noon. Come on, like, do the math. I'm definitely tired. But yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see transit just get improved upon, like some kind of high-speed rail or something.
Yeah.
You know, that would be great. Or like even for you, I mean, a ferry system.
They've been talking. Roger.
St. Catharines, come on.
Listen,
they're doing it out west.
I'm only 32 years old, but they've been talking about a ferry from St. Catharines to Toronto for about 32 years of my life.
High-speed hoverboat. You'll be a billionaire if you come up with the idea.
They've pitched this idea several times. There's if you look it up right now, there is a. Let's do this right now. Sorry, this isn't great podcast. Hovercraft Niagara is the company. Hoverlink Ontario Incorporated. It is a high-speed, weatherproof hovercraft service that transports up to 180 passengers across Lake Ontario in only 30 minutes.
Where the hell is it?
So as of May 2024, the service was. This is from Niagara Now. This service still afloat. Says a promoter. Great.
Come on.
Great
We
pun.
need it. We need it.
Great headline pun. On that transit rant, what do you got going on this weekend? You here?
So yeah, we got a bit of a work function tonight, some axe throwing. Tomorrow, I got a buddy's birthday. Sunday, I'm back doing some VJing for the weekend.
VJing. I should point out, man, you're doing a great job on the VJ stuff.
Oh, hey, thanks. Yeah. I've got a long ways to go, but yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice to see you lead the 6 o'clock. Yeah, and it's great. How are you feeling about it? Like, what was?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. You know, it's been a rapid kind of move from where I started out. You know, back in December of last year with CH to where I am now. But I appreciate it and I like it. And I feel like it's kind of like just the universe is calling for me. It feels like a natural thing for me to do. I like doing it. And
the vibes, the aura, it's all there.
That's just it, man. It's like seldom you actually work a job that you enjoy. So if you get to be passionate about it, really,
you're doing a great job. So keep it up.
Thanks.
And like heavy stuff too. Police shootings, like that's not easy. You're not doing the softball stuff.
Wasn't.
You're doing, that was great coverage that you had there, man.
Thanks, man.
You got a work party to get ready for. By the way, that was the first time I met you. Was the work Christmas party last year?
Yeah,
you came bowling. I
hadn't even started yet.
You hadn't even started yet.
I remember. Adam came out to me. He's like, you're coming to the work party?" Just super Adam.
Yeah, Greg was introducing her. Our boss, Greg, was coming around. He's like, "Yeah, this is Roger. He works here now." And I was like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah, great.
But great to see you. 1 year now. You've been here 1 year almost.
In December. December 18th, exactly.
All right, buddy. You still got work to do for the show, so go do
thanks.
that. All right. My thanks to Roger Collins for joining me today. And hey, my thanks to you as well, because we could not do the show without your support. So while you're here, make sure you like and subscribe to CHCH Podcast so you never miss an episode of this show or any of the other great shows we have for you, including a great couple of episodes of Newsmakers. Oh, I should promote Trending Now first. That is our social media channels. You can find it on X and YouTube. And once you subscribe to those, then you can subscribe to CHCH Podcast by going to chch.com/podcasts, or if you're watching this, just scanning the QR code on your screen. All right, my thanks to Justin Peeler for directing today's episode. And one more time, thank you for joining us. From all of us here at CHCH, I'm Louie Butko. Have a great weekend.